Commissioners, the next item is item number 12. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan. It's 100 Greenwich Avenue, located within the Greenwich Village Historic District. It's docket number 161290, block 617, lot 31. It's a Greek Revival style row house built in 1836-37. Application is to construct a rooftop addition.
Good morning, Victor Demonic, Preservation staff. This application is to install a one-story rooftop addition that is partially visible along a number of places on Greenwich Avenue. This is the view directly in front of the building, and you can just see it poking up there. And Joseph Vance is here to go into.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Joe Vance. I'm from Joseph Vance Architects. Our site is located on Greenwich Avenue on the east side, this location right here, between West 12th and West 13th Streets, almost perpendicular to James Street. These are photographs of the existing rooftop conditions. We have a stair bulkhead, mechanical equipment, chimneys. These are the proposed floor plans. The addition is stepped back 19.5 feet from the facade, and in the area of the stair, it steps back another 5 feet. This is the roof of the new rooftop addition is flat, no parapet, no railings. The visibility, this is visible from a few locations, primarily along James Street. So along James Street here, a little bit at this intersection, and standing here and here from this intersection. As Victor said before, this photograph here shows the visibility. As you put your back up against this building here, you can see this much of it here. That's an enlarged view. Stepping further back on James Street, you see this is the mock-up. This is the rooftop addition. So this is the maximum visibility view. What we're proposing for materials, we're working with this mansard rooftop addition next door, which is black, and from the south side, you see a lot of ubiquitous chimneys clad in tar. So we're going for dark materials. The face of the building here is a flat seam of black zinc, and we stepped it back 5 feet to break up this wall and put an inclined surface over the stair as a reminder of this mansard, and that's clad in black and gray slate. The views from the south, this is from the street right here. You'll see the mock-up, you'll see the visibility here. That's an enlarged view of it. And then from the furthest view south, this is the enlarged view. The rear of the building has been substantially altered over time. There's not much original fabric left at all. Back here, even though this is not visible from the thoroughfare, we are breaking up the materials, aligning the materials with what's been done down here, and otherwise keeping everything that's in the back. And these windows were relating to the more modern windows that were added in the late 1980s. The elevation of this block, we have a few, not recent, but there have been rooftop additions adjacent to us. Otherwise, they're to the south of chimneys. These are elevations. The building section. The height of this is basically predicated by the building would be occupied at the time of this construction by setting the first steel beam here, kissing the 90-foot ceilings. This is the section where we're setting back where the stair goes.
All right, questions? Any questions? Okay, we'll take public testimony. Barbara Zay.
Barbara Zay of the Historic Districts Council. 100 Greenwich Avenue is described in the district's designation report as, quote, the most charming of the row and closest to its original appearance. The small-scale proportions of the house do not lend themselves well to a large addition whose visibility would interrupt the continuous cornice that unifies numbers 96 through 100 Greenwich Avenue, a feature that is also called out in the designation report. Our committee observed that the height of the addition could be brought down, especially by taking fuller advantage of the roof slope in the rear. Thank you.
Are there any more speakers? Right. Community Board 2 recommends approval of this application. Are there any more questions for the applicant?
So-
Yes.
So there is a way then to lower it to not have that little piece visible? I mean, you only see, what, a foot or so? What do you
Yeah,
see?
we can-
Foot of it?
We can resolve that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that view from the across the street.
Can you just explain that? You could get rid of the view?
Okay, sure. So, as I mentioned, we were trying to do this without penetrating the roof, just so it doesn't seem on people while it's under construction. But if we need to lower the visibility, we would go ahead and push that steel beam down into the roof structure. So that, I can't see from here. But that would reduce the height by 1 foot 4 inches at least. Correct.
Right.
And that
Okay.
1 foot 4 inches, if I just zoom back here, that 1 foot 4
Which
inches
is-
would totally
Yeah.
eliminate this.
Right.
The other views, it would, I'm just going this way. Sorry, they're cold, so sorry to speak. It would mean that this line, all these lines would drop down by that same dimension.
Okay, why don't we ask them to do that? Any other questions? Right, we can close the hearing. Okay, comments? Yes.
I think that would be a great thing to lower it. In addition, I think that it is a tiny room. I don't think they necessarily need to have 9-foot ceilings in the interior. They could work with staff on that as well. And I think that the idea of going with a black material could be interesting. We don't really see that a lot. We usually do gray. But I think it's an interesting experiment, and the tie-in with the asphalt coating on a lot of these things. It's kind of an interesting thing, and I think it'd be interesting for us to try it out in this fairly limited little way.
Okay. Other comments? I think those are all good comments, and I don't have any issues with it. And we can ask them to, so they said they're going to lower it and then also see if they can further reduce it with staff. Okay.
What's the second?
So they said that they were already going to try and sink it by about 1.5 feet. And I guess the floor to ceiling height, which is 9 feet right now, they'll work with staff and see if they can reduce that. Okay?
That's all the staff.
Yes. Okay. All right. Michael, would you like to read the resolution?
Yeah. With regard to 100 Greenwich Avenue in the Greenwich Village Historic District, an application to construct a rooftop addition, I recommend approval with a modification, finding that the construction of the proposed rooftop addition will not result in loss of or damage to any significant architectural features of the roof. While the rooftop addition will be visible, it will be seen in context with background buildings and other rooftop additions, helping it to recede from view. That although the proposed rooftop addition will be constructed directly behind the existing rear masonry parapet, it won't detract from the highly altered rear facade and neighboring buildings, one of which extends above and beyond the proposed addition at the same story. And that the applicant will work with staff to reduce the height of the addition as much as possible to make it as least visible as possible.
Okay, second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This application's been approved.